how is everybody doing? Good. Okay, people are here. Awesome. Okay, all right, people are slowly coming on. Okay, so everybody, if you don't know who I am, if this is your first time coming to the webinar, let me know so I can know. If you've never heard of me and you just like randomly found me somehow, let me know, okay? If you own a storage facility, let me know. And also let me know, please, where y'all are located, because I always like to try to figure out where you're like located so I can figure out if it's good. Idaho. I like Hannah. I'm from Idaho. You know that my family's from Idaho, right? So I was born in Spokane, Washington, but my dad is from McCall. And then my grandmother and grandfather are from Chalice. And so we grew up, like I grew up all over Idaho. Skiing in Bogus Basin, skiing at Sun Valley. So we've been kind of everywhere. And actually, we spent some time up in Idaho last summer. We went up there and hang out. Yeah. Where are you from, Hannah? Tell me where you're from, because I love anybody from Idaho is like cool to me, because Idaho is such a beautiful state. If you have not been to Idaho, you need to go check it out. It's like the most beautiful state ever. It really is. So, and Boise's the fastest growing city in the country. I was in Boise last summer and just driving through, and I was just like, so much creation. I mean, so much massive like construction. So much massive construction everywhere. It was just like crazy. We were on like the outskirts of like Boise, and there was still so much construction going on. So it's growing really fast. Yeah, Coeur d'Alene, McCall, Spokane is growing. Yeah, so it's crazy. And there's not a lot of people up there that are, in storage investing. So I think you're a very prime area to look for storage facilities. So you got to get out there and start looking. Okay, good. Who else is out there? Did I see any other locations? Because I was only focusing on Idaho, so I didn't see anybody else. So put your locations in there so I can see where you're at. Okay. What we're going to do today is we're going to talk about my 3-step process: finding, funding, and running storage facilities. And I'm going to go into detail on each of those and really kind of help you to find your first storage facility in the next 90 days. That's the whole purpose of the webinar, right? Is to find your next storage facility. Is that anybody actually out looking for storage facilities? Has anybody taken anything that I've said and actually applied it? That would be great to know, right? I do these webinars pretty much every week, usually every Monday. Last week was Tuesday because it was a holiday, but but I'm going on vacation for like the last couple of weeks of June. So I'm debating on whether or not I'm going to do a webinar. I may do one, I may not. Mondays is like my busy day. Mondays is the day that I talk to my entire team and I do meetings and I do coaching. I just got off coaching calls. So Monday's like super busy day for me. I try to pack it in because y'all know, guess what? I only work 2 to 3 days a week. That's it. 2 to 3 days a week. That's it. So I used to work, when I first started out, in the real estate investing world, I worked all the time. I was the crazy one that did like 15 rehabs at a time. And I was just running around like a crazy person, working like every single day. It was horrible. And then I got pregnant and I decided to get into storage. And I vowed like to get to the point. Has anybody ever read the book, the 4-Hour Work Week? Miami, I see. Good. We got some Miami. Has anybody read the book 4-Hour Work Week? If you haven't read this book, I highly, highly read this. Now, I'm the type of person, like when I read a book, I implement what it says, right? So I took that one to heart. Like as soon as I read the 4-Hour Work Week, I was like, I got to get down to the 4-Hour Work Week, right? And basically what he talks about in the 4-Hour Work Week is that you just have to delegate it, or you just delegate everything off. So what I did is that one of the first things that I did after I read that book, which was probably about maybe 3 years ago, that was like the first time I read that book. I'm very good at delegating, right? I'm really, really good at delegating. A lot of people are not good at delegating. If you're not good at delegating, if you're good at delegating, say I'm good at delegating. If you're not, say I need to work on my delegating skills, right? The truth of the matter is that, when you invest in anything, right, yourself or any type of business or like especially self-storage, you truly, truly want it to be passive income, right? I mean, that's the whole purpose of investing. Why would you invest in something that you know is passive income and then like have it, run your life every single day, right? So the 4-hour work week is all about delegating. And I read that probably like 3 years ago. And the one thing that clicked in my mind was I need to start delegating my emails out. Right? I was like, I get way too many emails. And I was like, emails just consume your life, right? So I did. I hired somebody. That was the first thing that I did is I hired somebody to answer all my emails. And I don't get a lot of emails anymore. It's so nice. Now I do answer like my students' emails for coaching, but a lot of other stuff I don't really answer. I have somebody else that just handles all my emails. Isn't that awesome? Wouldn't you be able to just like hire somebody to handle all your emails? Because that really is what takes up all the time. Really, I mean, just answering everybody's. And then what happens when basically what it says is that when you're answering your emails, essentially you're giving control over to somebody else, right? Instead of you being in control of what you're doing, right? So, and I'm the type of person like when an email comes up, like it has to get done like immediately. Like I hate like keeping emails that I need to work on and stuff like that. So that's why I tried to delegate it so I don't get like sidetracked and distracted. So, anyways, all right. So I'm working on the 4-hour work week. That's my goal is the 4-hour work week. I'm down to 2 days, maybe 3 days. I think 3 days is where I'm at now. 3 good days actually I work from like 10 o'clock until maybe 6 or 7, something like that, 2 days a week. Anyways, all right, I'm rambling. So let's get into storage investing. So what we're going to do today is talk about finding, funding, and running them, but essentially what are the first steps for you to get that storage facility under contract in the first 90 days, okay, in the next 90 days, right? And in the next 90 days, what you're going to have to do is, let's see, and these are all just before I move this page, I wanted to put this up, this is all my websites and everything. So if you're not following me, you can follow me. StaceyRossetti.com. I got lots of free trainings there. Every training that I do, as soon as it's done, it'll go on to StaceyRossetti.com. All these trainings here. And then you can go to YouTube as well. Stacey Rossetti Teaches. That's where like a lot of free stuff is as well. And then you can, I have a course. It's called Super Simple Self Storage. And it just takes you through like all the steps of getting started in self-storage investing. Check me out, misslillians.com. We were supposed to close on a storage facility this week, but I just got word that there's some title issues. Actually, the way that this storage facility looks, let me just show you. Let me just tell you, is I'll put it right here. It's like one long building like this, and then I'll move this down if y'all can't see. One long building like that, and then kind of like that is what it looks like, okay? That's how it's done. Now, what happens is that, like, if for some reason this is on 2 separate parcels, so the owner, he bought this parcel first, and then he built this, and then he bought this parcel second and built this, right? But so what's happening is that, like, when he bought these parcels, they weren't connected, and now we're connected. All right, so we're working on trying to get that closed. So we were supposed to close on that this week, but it may be like early next week or something. They're working on title issues. That's the thing with like closing any type of property. If y'all have closed deals before, it's always like the 11th hour, and all hell breaks loose right at the very end. We're supposed to close. Something always goes wrong. It's like hardly ever smooth transaction. Now, we are closing on a property on the 17th as well, too, and they're paying cash. We're selling a property, and they're paying cash. And then, like, literally, we put it under contract, this past weekend, and they're closing in 2 weeks cash, right? So if you got cash, easy peasy, lemon squeezy, right? But if you're doing other stuff, then there's always some sort of issue. All right, but you can check out misslillians.com. We're closing on that one. Right now, this is our company, and we're closing on our 9th facility right now. We have a couple more at the contract, and that's another thing too. I'll tell you about here in just a second. StorageNerds.com. That's the coaching program. So Super Simple Self Storage is the name of my online course, and then StorageNerds.com is the coaching program if you're interested in coaching. All right. So let's get this all moved on. I'm running out of paper. I'm gonna have to be like chintzy, but okay. Is chintzy even a word? I don't even know. I just made that up. All right. So what we're gonna do today is finding and funding them. Okay, what we're gonna do. How to find them and how to fund them. Is anybody out actually looking for storage facilities right now? What are all the different ways that we can find storage facilities? Okay, and we'll list those out. Who is out looking for storage facilities right now? Is there anybody doing anything at all? All right, finding them for me. Okay, the way that it works in my business is 1, 2, 3, let's say 4. Okay, so we have Bonnie, who manages the office. All right, she's like our operations manager, right? And so this is office, right? And then we have Chris, who's acquisitions, right? Which would be, if you're just starting out, of course, this is all you, but at least you can see what my company looks like. This is Miss Lillian Self Storage. This is the company. And we have 9 facilities, about 1,000 doors is what we have, okay? And then we have Stacy is finance. That's me. I do all the money stuff is what I do, okay? And then we have Pete, which is maintenance. Okay, but underneath him, he has Eddie. And now Chris is coming over to maintenance as well too. This is a new thing for us now, okay? So Chris is like just now we're training Chris. His job is to replace Pete. All right. So Chris was full-time. Okay, so basically I found Chris as a you know what happened honestly is that I was out looking for storage facilities. I drive for storage. All right. If you don't know yet, that's what I do. I drive for storage. And to drive for storage, you got to get out there and look and talk to owners and stuff. It's kind of like door knocking. Basically, if you know what door knocking is, you're driving around and you're calling up storage facility owners and just talking to them. And a lot of times you'll just meet them because, what I do is I call them up right when I'm in front of the facility. Right. So then they'll be like, I live right around the corner. They always live right around the corner. Right. So then I'll just go hang out with them and we'll just hang out and talk and get to know each other. And so I was doing this quite often. All the facilities, pretty much all of them up till this year, were all found by me just driving for storage. Okay. So then I was started doing all the coaching. All right. And I was like, okay, I need to focus on coaching or storage, finding storage facilities. Which one do I want to focus on? And I want to focus on coaching because I'm a teacher. That's what I am. I'm a teacher and I just want to teach. And so I was like, I need to find somebody to manage all of the acquisitions because we have, we have the means to buy more. It's just that I don't have the time to go out and find them. So I hired Chris last year, October. And what I did is I just put an ad in Craigslist, really. It was like, hey, I'm looking for an acquisitions person to help me find storage facilities. We want to buy storage facilities. But we own and operate storage and we want to buy more. Looking to train somebody. This is an entry-level position. You don't have to have any clue as to what I'm doing. I will train you and I will pay you. All right, essentially. So we put the ad in Craigslist, and we got like probably not a lot of people, but probably like maybe 10 people. We talked to like probably 3 or 4 people, and in the end, we decided to hire Chris. Now, Chris was he's a soccer coach. He's a professional soccer coach. That's what he does. Okay, and he was like he's been like coaching soccer for the past 10 years, and so but he just like getting all burnt out, so he wanted to learn how to do real estate on the side. And so I trained him from October. He's still training, honestly. He's still training. He's been with us since October. October, November, December, we really trained, right? I took him out driving for storage, and he learned how to do deal analysis and all kinds of stuff. And then he put his first the first storage facility under contract, went under contract right around Thanksgiving. So he started in October, he got something under contract in Thanksgiving, and we closed like the first or second week of January, something like that. And then since then, he does one a month. He's been doing one a month. Our goal is one a month this year to purchase. So I have been training Chris for, the past, like, whatever it is, 6 months, I guess, or however long it's been. And he's still like learning, he's still learning how to do this. And during that time, I paid him like a very minimal salary, like just a little bit of money, right? Because he already had money coming in. So it wasn't that big of a deal for him to be getting money while he was training. What he wanted was to close. All right. And literally what I did was I just trained him on everything I know about, getting out, finding storage facility, which is not difficult, right? Driving around and just talking to storage facility owners is what I did. And so I showed him how to do that. What the hard part about investing in self-storage is deal analysis, right? Is really knowing whether it's a good deal or not. And he still doesn't have any idea. He's getting a little bit better at it, but what he does is he'll run the deal analysis, but he's still unsure as to whether it's a good deal or not, right? And so then I help him and guide him and say, yes, give him a thumbs up. Now, what happened is so he finally quit his job. So we've done 4 facilities this year. So he's like, yeah, I'm quitting my job, And so he's going to come work with us for full time. And essentially what he's going to do is while he's driving for storage, which he drives all over the state of Georgia, right, to look for storage facilities. So that's kind of what our location is, really southern Georgia. We're now kind of going into Florida a little bit. But and then as he's driving for storage, all of our storage facilities are down there. So we're like, since you're down there, you might as well go and just maintain them. Right. And so he is going to just maintain them, clean them up, pick up the trash, overlock, whatever, blow leaves, whatever needs to get done. So essentially he's helping us to run the facilities on the maintenance side. He'll go through and he'll mark in our property software, like, which doors, are needed work, or, what's locked or unlocked. Because, your software basically manages all that, right? You just have to have a person that knows how to get in and put all that kind of stuff in, right? It's not easy. We've had people that like they cannot get onto an iPad and they can't figure it out. We've hired a couple of people like that. But essentially the way that your software works is that you could just have like an iPad and walk around and be like, okay, here's your map. Okay, this latch is broken. That's F1. And you go in here and you just say, okay, this F1 needs maintenance or whatever. And you mark it and then it becomes unrunnable and stuff like this, right? That's how the software works. Amazing software. Awesome software. But you need somebody that can like do software, right? That's the key in order to manage it. Now, what I'm saying is that you need somebody to run your facilities that is, can comprehend how to maintain a facility online, right? Because your goal is to be online, completely virtual, electronic, contactless, automated, systematized. Everything we do is completely online. So anything that Chris is doing now is he's doing it all online, right? So he's now our acquisition / like boots on the ground person. And he's like so excited. And he's just like, and Chris is the type of person who's a very like minimalist. He doesn't need a lot of stuff right now. He lives in a tiny house. And that's why we get along. He's kind of the same as us. We get along really well. And so he's going to go out and just buy a camper and then just drive around and manage all of our storage facilities, just maintain all of them. And while he's maintaining them, he'll just like hang out in his camper, do his thing, and then he'll find storage facilities for us, which his last day was the Wednesday before Memorial Day. His last day for his soccer was that day. And so what he did is he just did exactly what I just told you. He took off and started driving. He's like, I'm gonna start driving for storage. I gotta buy some storage facilities, because he's only working off of now he was only working off commission under the acquisition side. Now he's also gonna get like a weekly salary, for doing all the boots on the ground stuff, which is basically gonna be enough for him to live off of and stuff like that. And so he started just driving for storage this weekend this week. This like from Thursday until he just got back, I think on like Sunday or something. And so I said, let's have a meeting like on Thursday or Friday. I was like, let's have a quick meeting, on Zoom, just hop on Zoom. Let's talk about what's going on. And so I opened up the Zoom, right? And he's like sitting like at this restaurant bar, like on the beach. That's what he's doing. He's like sitting on the beach. I was like, where are you? He's like, I'm on the beach. And I was like, where? And he told me he was in like the St. Mary's area, like the Ferdinand. I don't know if you're on the Ferdinand Beach. St. Mary's, kind of like southern Georgia, right where Jacksonville and like where Florida, Georgia line is, if you know what that's at. And he said he's just been like driving around looking for storage facilities all in the southern part of Georgia and into Florida. And he's just hanging out on the beach and he's like having this best time. And he's like, no, this is awesome. He's like so excited about this, right? And so he went from Thursday until Sunday, drove around, and he put five offers in for 5 storage facilities. So he went and drove around, and he had one storage facility that was in Florida, kind of like right on the panhandle, that somehow he found and contacted, and they wanted to sell, so he put an offer in. That was the first one, and he put an offer in for $600,000. So the owner's taking that contract and getting his attorney to look over the contract. And then so that's already one that we already have almost under contract, right? They want to sell it, and we offered $600,000. And then he's got like 2 in the St. Mary's area that we're working on right now, and then 2 others that were kind of like inland of Georgia, like south. And we already have like all of our facilities are in that area. And so he already like in the first week just driving for storage, full time now driving for storage. And then he stopped at a couple of our facilities and like blew the leaves and like picked up trash and stuff like this. And then he like hung out at the beach for the whole time. Isn't that sound awesome for him? He's like so happy. And so we're also very happy too, right? Because we have somebody that's on our team that essentially is doing what me and Pete were doing. Like, so we're like, up until now, we've been like super hands-on up until last year. We were in the business. I was looking for storage facilities. I was looking for the money. Pete was the one managing the facilities. Like, we're super hands-on, okay? And then, so that was last year. Up till last year, we had 6 facilities. And then this year now we're trying to buy 1 a month. And the reason we can do that is exactly what I just said, delegating, right? Because the truth is that you can't do everything. And when you get into this, you realize that there's a lot to do. Right now you guys are only worried about finding the facility. But the truth of the matter is, like, in order to buy storage facilities, there's a lot of stuff. You're running a business, right? So we're at the point now we get to delegate all that off. And we have Bonnie, who's been with us now, like, I think at least 5 or 6 or 7 years. I can't remember how long. She's been with us a while. She's been managing the storage facility since almost day 1 with us. And she's going to be sticking around. And then Chris is also the type of person that he's going to be sticking around. But Pete and I are discussing this. How can we make sure that these 2 people are going to be sticking around? right? How can we make sure, because we're devoting so much time and energy to like sharing all of our knowledge on like what we do, internally, like we're vertically integrated, so they all get to see everything that we're doing. But what we want to do is really truly make sure that they stay with us. So what we decided to do was set up for both Bonnie and Chris profit sharing. Profit sharing. So we are super excited about this too. We do not want Bonnie and Chris to leave us. So we've decided that we are going to share in the profit that we make. I don't know how we're going to set it up yet. Maybe y'all have some suggestions. I don't know. But essentially, like, they're going to be making like, Bonnie makes her money, and then Chris makes his weekly money. And then Chris also sells facilities and he gets his money. Finds facilities and gets paid for that. But we want to set up some sort of profit sharing is what we want. That way we know that they will not leave. Because what we want to do, me and Pete, what we want to do is leave. We want to leave, right? And actually this year is going to be the last year that we are in Georgia focusing on storage facilities. I mean, we'll still focus on it, but we're gearing up for the entire year next year to travel, all right? We're going to travel the entire year. And so the only way that we can do that is if the people that are on our team feel like they're part of what we're trying to do, which is grow this Miss Lillian self-storage into like this huge, the huge company, but like a big company that's going to have like 20 to 30, storage facilities, right? So we're working on that right now. We're discussing it, trying to come up with ways for us to contribute to what we think will help them to stick around, right? So just a suggestion to you guys as you start growing, and now you kind of see how our path is, right? How our path is. I mean, essentially, we could just manage these ourselves, sit around and manage them ourselves. But the truth of the matter is why would you get into storage investing, something that could be totally passive, and not make it passive? Right? And not make it passive. And I just really, I say this over and over again, but every single one of the facilities that I've ever bought, the owners live right around the corner and get up every day and go manage their facilities. Right? And they have one facility, and that's their life. Who wants that? We do not want that. You are on this webinar to learn how to invest in self-storage. So what your job is not only to learn how to invest in it, but also to learn how to run the company so that it's a profitable company to the point where it's completely passive and you can just do whatever you want. And at the same time, you can share the profits with the people that helped you to grow it. Right? Isn't that awesome? I'm so excited about this. And I hope that you guys see what the potential is of what this can become, because that's what we see. That's what we see, right? And we're looking forward to it. So Chris is now working with Pete, boots on the ground person, and Chris is going to help us to maintain our facilities. And we'll see how it goes. You're going to travel around, find some storage facilities, and manage them. And so Pete's training, and we're actually leaving for a couple of weeks and going on a trip. So it's going to be a good test. From now until like the 17th of June, we're training Chris every single day. Pete's training him. And what I did, which was so awesome, is I told Pete, because Pete, my husband Pete, if you join the coaching program, you'll be able to meet Pete. But my husband Pete is not good at delegating. He is not good at delegating. He is the type of person that it's not that he can think he can do it, that he can do it better. But wait, yeah, it is. He thinks he can do it better, right? He's always like, I'm on the thing, and I'm like, how do you fix this thing? He's like, get out of the way. Let me just do it real fast. That's kind of how he is, right? And he's just not good at delegating, right? So what I did is I was like, look, you have got to figure out how to get yourself out of this position. Because I was like, I gotta travel. I want Lillian to see the world. I don't want I want us to be like worldly. Right? And we already are. I mean, I've been to like 40 countries. He's been to a lot of countries, I think, as well too. I want Lillian to be worldly, right? And so I was like, you got to figure this out. we should be able to like manage all this stuff. So what he did is he took like 3 pieces of paper, and we're the type of people like, so we're like, nope. Are y'all like this? Y'all tell me. We're notepad people on the wall. Like if you go into my house, like my wall has notepads, like notes on the wall everywhere of just like our goals, the things that we want to do, lists. Like, so we don't have pictures on our walls. We have like notes is what we have on our wall. Like we have this on our wall, and then I write down our lists of things that we can do. Lillian has her tasks, in order, like what does Lillian, what should Lillian do in order to get a dessert? And then she has her whole thing that she got practice the piano and stuff like this. Anyway, so like what he did is he had like 3 pieces of paper. One of them was Pete, one of them was Bonnie, and one of them was Chris. All right. And he basically did a brain dump, which is like, what does Pete do right now? What does Bonnie do? Right. And he just like brain dumped all that on there because we don't have Chris yet. Chris is just starting. He just brain dumped everything. And then what he did is he started taking all the stuff from Pete and putting it over to Bonnie and Chris. And then he had this like huge list. And it was like, and then by the end he redid it. And Pete's list was like so short. He's going to do like high level stuff, like QuickBooks, like looking at numbers, making sure that the finances are good. Like this is what Pete's going to do, like all the higher level stuff. And then he listed out all the mini tasks and stuff that Bonnie's going to do, and all the tasks that Chris is going to do, like huge long list. And after he did that, I could just tell that he just felt so good, because he was like, he started to get all bogged. He was starting to feel a little bit bogged down because like he's not able to delegate that stuff off, So once he did that, he really he changed like all of a sudden. That happened like maybe 2 weeks ago. And like last week, Chris started and he was like, you're doing this, teaching, getting ready. And then what he did also is he talked to Bonnie, right? And he told Bonnie, he was like, look, he's like, I just want you to know that you need to start getting your shit together. Like, because we about to grow, we about to get bigger. And she already knows this because she's been with us day one. She's like, it's like, we're about to buy a lot of storage facilities. And I need you to be like focused. She's like working out of her house. She has like a 2-year-old baby, like a 1.5 year, 2-year-old baby. He's like, I really need you to help me to get focused. So it's like, so what do? Do you need an office? Do you need a nanny? Do you need more money to get yourself organized so that you can help me during these 40 hours a week that you're supposed to work, really grow this company? What do you need? And she's like, I need a nanny and I need an office. He's like, fine, done. Right. So like, we're all working on that. So it was like so awesome. I'm like so proud of him. Right. Anyways, Chris is the same way. So he's taking Chris out and training him. So we're getting our shit together so that we can grow. Right. And we can buy as many storage facilities as we can. And the reason that we did this, the reason why this is happening right now is because what we did is we sat down. All right. We sat down and we came up with a number that we need every single month, every single year to live off of, right? What's that number? All right. And we came up with a number. We need this much money every single year to live off of for the next 40 years. All right. And how long is it going to take us to get to that number so that we can have enough money to live off of? And then anything after that we make is going to go to Lillian. All right. And that's going to be what she's going to get. And so we kind of created this plan, and we really kind of really focused on it. I call this quality conversations. Does anybody ever have quality conversations with their spouse? So Pete and I are, we have these we call them quality conversations. We're really like digging deep into what our goals are as a family, right? What do we need to do? And our goal is to travel as much as we possibly can. Lillian is going to see as much of the world as she possibly can, right? That's our goal, all right? And so what do we need to do? What do we need? How much money do we need for that, right? That's the goal as we sat down and kind of put a plan together. And that's when we said, okay, we need to, like, in the next 2 years, we need to buy at least 20 more storage facilities. Right? So our goal is to buy 20 storage facilities. Now we buy small facilities, just FYI, to everybody who's listening. Our facilities are like anywhere from 50 to 150 units. All right. Are we ever going to buy bigger ones? I'm not sure. I talked to Pete about this, and like we just know how to run these little tiny mom and pops, and we're okay with doubling the value of them in a couple of years or whatever. So like we're probably going to just stick to that, honestly, because that's just kind of what it is. This is something that my coach told me 10 years ago when I got started, right? He told me, he said, the wealthy get wealthy by doing one thing. And he said, you pick that one thing that you're good at and you do it over and over and over again. Okay. And you master that one thing, right? You're not all over the place. Is anybody here all over the place? Anybody here like, I want to learn how to do this. I want to learn how to do this. I want to learn how to do this. And they're not focused, right? I tell my daughter Lillian all the time, I was like, you have to focus. If you're going to make it in this world, you have to be focused. And that's why we have her play the piano, is because the piano really makes you focus, or at least your brain focus, right? And anyway, so like we're getting to the point now where it's like we know we have so many facilities right now to the point where we only need a few more facilities to be able to pay for us, right? To live on for the next 40 years. I think by the time we get to 15 maybe or so, we'll be fine. And then after that, anything else that we make will be for Lillian, right? All for Lillian. And so I said, we're going to be driven. We're going to be driven to the point where we can just get that going. And then after that, we can travel and do the things that we want. See, storage, you can totally do that with storage if you focus on it, right? What you focus on expands, right? What you focus on and make a priority is what comes to fruition in your life. I say this to my students all the time, right? So just by, starting out with, it was actually when we started out, it was me and Bonnie together. And I managed the storage facilities that we had, which we had one, and then we had another one. Pete owned a home inspection company that he sold. And once we sold it, he moved over to Miss Lillian's, and then he started taking over Miss Lillian's, and he's actually way better at running Miss Lillian's than I am. I am the teacher. Pete's also a teacher as well too, but I'm the teacher, I'm the coach, and then he's the storage facility manager. And he's so much better at he's so good at that. He's really, really good at that. And so anyway, so that's kind of how we're going. Doesn't that sound so exciting? We have a lot of stuff going on, and I'm telling you, we just started investing in self-storage 5 years ago. 5 years ago in July is when we closed on our first storage facility. So this is not difficult. This is not difficult. We made it a priority to buy as many storage facilities as we can. Actually, the first 5 years we did not have it as a priority. Like we were just like, let's just buy some storage facilities and see what happens. And we had 6 storage facilities up till this last year. And I also coached on the side. I coached, and he ran the facilities. And then just this year, once I hired Chris, it was like, okay, now let's get this going. And we're gonna buy as many as we can. And that way, because we want to retire and like hang out and do stuff, and have fun and travel. So that's kind of where we're at. Anyway, so Bonnie, Chris, Stacy, and Pete, and Eddie is our handyman guy. He's like our handyman guy, is what he is. So you see Eddie here too. This is the guy that's like, if anything's broken, anything at all, Eddie's the one that does it. So for instance, like at one of our facilities, he has he's the type of person that has like every type of equipment, or if he doesn't have it, then he knows where to get it. Right? Does anybody have an Eddie in their life? If you don't have an Eddie in your life, then you need an Eddie, right? On the rehabbing side, when I was rehabbing, I had a Doug, and Doug was like the guy that could do everything. And then in the storage side, we have Eddie. And so you definitely want to have an Eddie in your life, especially if you're going to be a storage facility owner. Okay, so we have an Eddie, and now we have a Chris. Chris is like the maintenance guy that's like professional and can like actually go on a computer and like look things up and manage things and stuff like that. That's Chris, right? And Eddie is like cannot get on a computer. Eddie's like the hands-on person that like gets out there and like gravel and dirt and like construction and stuff. Okay. And that's it. So this is how we run. This is how we run 1,000 doors right here. Okay. And somebody's asking about new construction. Right now, honestly, I mean, I personally say it's not a good time to build right now. And the reason why is just because like metal prices and materials are so expensive. We will be looking and building in the probably maybe by the end of this year we'll start looking. So we had a facility under contract that we wanted to expand on. That one was like it actually has like a unit like this. And this is like I think 38 units or something like that. I can't remember what it is. So here's like a little tiny one like this, okay? And this is all just empty space. This is 2 acres of land. So we want to build like, now we've already got it all proposed out where we're going to do like more units and stuff. We're going to add like, I think almost 100. It was like 88 units or something like that. And when we got it quoted like maybe 2 months ago, it was at like $130,000. And then it went up to like almost 200 grand. It's like ridiculously priced now. So the metal price is like super expensive. So I would highly recommend, like, if you already have metal under contract, then build away and get that thing done. Awesome. If you don't have like metal under contract and you don't have it going, then I would wait until the prices come back down. The prices will come back down. Okay. The prices will come back down. It's just that it's going to take a little while because material prices are just so expensive. Okay. So new construction, definitely we need more storage facilities in the world, right? There's not enough storage facilities, but right now may not be the right time to build. All right. I mean, unless you can get like a smoking hot deal, right? If you get like super cheap land, right? And then you can find it and build. And if the numbers work, the numbers work, right? But I would just kind of hold off just a little bit, my personal opinion. Okay. All right, so we're talking about finding and funding them, right? So now you know who's finding in our business. In our business, Chris finds our facilities. He's got 5 facilities under contract right now. What we're going to do in the coaching session on Tuesday, if anybody just decides to join Storage Nerds, we don't meet tomorrow because we meet every other Tuesday. Next Tuesday, Chris is coming on. And what he's going to do is we're going to call owners of storage facilities. And then all the students get to hear how Chris talks to everybody. I talked to one guy, because, I'll call too and talk to him too. But like, I talked to one guy on the phone and he wants to sell his storage facility, but he's not quite ready, essentially. He's like, don't worry, I'm going to sell it to y'all. We call and check in like once a month or something. And I called him up and I was just introducing myself because usually what happens is Chris goes out and he talks to the storage facility owners now, right? So that's completely delegated. I'm totally out of all that now. But what he does is like he'll talk to them and then and then if he thinks that it's like I need to call in and introduce myself, then I will. So I called this guy and I introduced myself to him and he was like, I just want you to know that Chris is like a really good guy, like a really good salesperson, like very nice, very courteous. He's like, didn't feel pushy at all. Like he wanted to get to know who I was. Like on the phone, Chris is a really good guy. You've really lucked out. That's what he told me on the phone. I was like, thank you very much. Yeah, I think so too. I totally agree. Everybody loves to talk to Chris on the phone. So you have to be that type of person on the phone. If you're going to be making the calls, right? You have to be the person on the phone that like people are going to like because that's how they're going to sell. He's like, and that's what the guy said. He's like, I'm going to sell to you because I just really like talking to Chris on the phone. He's like, I'm going to go out and meet Chris. He's like, I really liked him a lot. It's like, and that's really how it is if you're going to just only do phone stuff, right? And Chris will like randomly call people and just try to get them to sell, right? So when you're doing finding them, I drive for storage. So now we know we drive for storage. Storage. Hashtag driving for storage. If you ever drive for storage, tag me. Post it out and tag. You should definitely be posting this stuff out, right? Because you want to start building credibility, right? People will be like, oh, you're driving for storage. What are you doing at the storage facility? Oh, I'm looking for one to buy. Oh, maybe you have some money. Maybe you could borrow my money. Happened to me when I did that, right? Driving for storage. And then number 2 is like calling people. Just cold calling, right? And you can use Google Maps. Right? You can use Google Maps to just call people and just be like, hey, are you interested in selling? Now, this is the easy way, right? And this is the hard way. My dad would always say, my dad, when I grew up, he's like, do you want to do it the easy way or do you want to do it the hard way? You know? Guess what I did? Always did the hard way. Always did the hard way. All right? Now that I've been investing for, 10 years, I always take the easy way out, man. I'm like, I want it to be easy. The longer I invest, the lazier I get, right? But in the beginning, you have to do it the hard way, right? If it's the easy way, that means everybody's doing it. If it's the hard way, nobody's doing it, right? And the hard way is where you get you get the most reward. Okay, so now you're on Google Maps when you're out looking for storage. Okay, when you're looking on Google Maps, you want to look to see if they have like a website. Do they have a website? If they don't have a website, that's probably a better lead than if they do have a website, right? Because getting on Google, we talked about this before, getting on Google Maps is hard. Getting a website on Google Maps, Google Business Listing is not easy. It's just not, right? And website, do they have a phone number? Do they have an address? This kind of thing. If they're missing anything, that's a good lead. Okay? Now, and then what you want to do, right? We already know this. You want to find the hidden market. That's everybody that's not on Google Maps. All the storage facility owners that are not on Google Maps. Okay? And then you can drive over, you can find the ones that are not on Google Maps, and you can drive over and you can see if they want to sell. Call them up right in front of the facility. Just call them up. Okay, that's what I tell my students all the time. You got to just right in front of the facility. That's how I've gotten most of my storage facilities. I'm just right there. Now, okay, so we got a hidden market, we've got calling, driving for storage, and you can say lists. Okay, lists. Buy a list, buy a storage facility list, or do the list yourself. Get somebody to create a list for you of all the storage facilities. There's only 50,000 storage facilities in the country. 50,000 storage. Okay, so if you break it down, think about it this way. 50,000 storage facilities across the country. How many states are there? 50, right? So there's 1,000 storage facilities per state. How many of those storage facilities are owned by REITs? I would say 25% are owned by REITs. So that means 750 storage facilities are owned by people like you and me, mom and pops, right? Out of the 750, I would guess at least 25% own 2 or more, right? So let's just say you're down to like 500. Now there's only 500 people that own one storage facility, right? I would try to figure out who those people are that only own one, and then I would contact them to see if they want to sell. All right, you can send them letters, you can call them, you can text them, right? That's what I would do. But guess what? You got the easy way and you got the hard way. The easy way, everybody's doing it. The hard way, nobody's doing it. Okay, so the question to you is, which way are you going to do it? The easy way or the hard way? I want to see in the chat. Which of these do you like the best of all the ways to find storage facility? You like the hard way or you like the easy way? Put it in the chat. I want to know what you're going to be doing. Which type? Which type of way are you going to be looking, right? So William says hard way. All right, you guys, look, Natania's like easy way. I'm going to just do the easy way. I hope that's like a mental thing, a mental checklist. Hard way for sure, less competition. Good, you've got it. The hard way is less competition. The easy way, more competition. Easy way, oh, guess what I love too? Driving for storage. Guess what your marketing budget is? Gas money. Right? Hidden markets. Guess what your marketing budget is? Gas money. Calling. Yeah, you got a time and no marketing budget. This you got to have some money for. You got to pay for it, unless you can do all that by yourself. But then it goes to the question like, what's your time worth? Sitting there and trying to figure all this out. This is something that you could totally even train a virtual assistant to do for you. Or guess what? Hire an acquisitions person like I did. All this stuff right here, this is Chris's task list. Chris, this is what he does. All right, that's his job right there. Okay, so your homework is to get out there and start looking for storage facilities. I have one more webinar next Monday. Come back and tell me whether or not you went out and looked. Every time I meet y'all on Mondays, nobody's ever gone out and looked for storage facilities. You guys are all coming here and listening to me, but nobody's ever taking any action. You got to take action. And if you're the type of person, right? If you're the type of person that doesn't know how to take action, guess what? You need a coach. All right, so you've got to go to Storage Nerds. I have my only day. I'm not working Wednesday, Thursday, Friday of this week. I'm only working today and tomorrow of this week. The last like 3-4 weeks, I've only worked 2 days a week. So nice to only work 2 days a week. And so tomorrow I'm taking phone calls for Storage Nerds. All right, so if you're interested, then you got to set up as application only. And I want to talk to you to make sure you're a good fit. It's a Zoom interview. So you got to be able to get on the camera. Because if you're going to join my coaching program, then you're going to have like weekly sessions just like this, and you're going to have, group coaching sessions just like this. People are talking and sharing and learning, right? There's no, that way, that's the whole point of coaching, right? Okay, Alexis says, I looked. All the ones I found were on Google's website, so I have to dig deeper. Yeah. You got to start looking for those hidden markets, because guess what? Whatever you find on Google, I'm going to tell you the same amount of storage facilities are there in that same area, not on Google. All right? It is very, very difficult to get your business on Google. And if you are over 60 years old and you're not a computer person, which is like most of the storage facility owners in the world. Now, when we get to be in our 60s, guess what? They'll all be online, because that's how we are. We're running our business online. But everybody that's been running their business over the past 10, 20, 30 years, they are not online. Okay, unless they have some manager or somebody managing this. So you have to find the people that are not online. And I'm going to tell you they're out there, because every facility that I bought, none of the facilities are online at all. Number 9, not online. That rhymes. Number 9, not online. Okay, we drove to a couple tiny towns near us and found multiple facilities not on Google. Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay, there you go. Now did you call them? Do not go to the facility and not call them. That's the thing. Do not go to the facility without, just call them up and talk to them. They're just regular people, just like you and me. You never know. They may want to sell, right? And then, so what I wanted to show you real fast before we ended the session was, if you joined the coaching program, this is how your next year is going to look, right? Essentially, within the first 90 days, your goal is to find a storage facility, right? This is the life cycle of a student in the coaching program. You're going to find one in the first 90 days, right? You're going to make it a priority. You're going to get out, you're going to look, you're going to call, you're going to talk, you're going to drive, you're going to do whatever you need to do to find your first storage facility, right? You're going to be educated. You're going to attend 2-day boot camps. You're going to come to the coaching session. And then in the next quarter, you're going to close on that storage facility. You're going to onboard it. We call that onboarding, right? That means like you bought a storage facility. Now what? You bought a storage facility. Now what? All right. And that's like a whole, people don't like, I have somebody that just closed on a storage facility this past week and he's like, now what? And he has, he's getting ESS started and he's getting like all this stuff. It's a lot of stuff. It's a lot of work. So, anyway, so now he has to get that all onboarded. So that's the second quarter. By the third quarter, you're like, okay, I can breathe. The tenants are in. How do I start automating and systematizing all the stuff, like my systems, my prices, all this kind of stuff, my maintenance? How do I automate and systematize that? And then by the fourth quarter, you are looking for your next storage facility. And this is what I see all the time in the coaching program. And this is what the coaching program is about, is you get to see everything that we do. Literally everything that we do in the entire business is there for you, right? You have all of the systems, all of the contracts, all of the templates. You get me as a coach, you get office hours, you get the whole bi-weekly coaching, group coaching sessions, and you get the 2-day boot camps. Oh yeah, I forgot. And what we're doing this Saturday is Infield Training Day, right? Infield Training Day. So that means that everybody can pile in my car. We fit people in my car, and then we just go driving for storage. And I'll take you to one of my facilities, and then we'll go out and look for storage facilities, see if we can find something to buy. We'll just call the storage facility owners right there, and I'll show you exactly how I kind of manage everything on my phone, because we do all of our stuff that we do is all completely virtual on our phone. So Chris and I are sharing everything that we do. So I show everybody that as well too. So that's included as well. So lots of goodies. So if you're interested in Storage Nerds, please set up a call for tomorrow. It's the only day I'm available, and I won't be available again until next Monday or Tuesday. After the webinar. Okay. Any other final questions? Anything else? Any other final questions? Let's see. There you go. All right. Well, okay. I am here for you. Just let us know. And also make sure you join the Facebook group Storage Nerds if you have any questions there as well too. And hopefully I'll see you guys, tomorrow for a Storage Nerd session. Okay. When you talk to them, you just ask them if they want to sell their facility. That's what you got to do. Is do you want to sell your facility? Like I'm looking for a storage facility in the area. Do you know how to sell them? This is exactly what we're talking about. This is exactly what we're doing next Tuesday. Chris and I are going to go over all the different ways that you can talk with sellers, all the different ways that you can put storage facilities under contract. But the truth of the matter is, Hannah, in order for you to know, you have to be able to run deal analysis. If you knew how to run deal analysis, you would know exactly what you need to ask the storage facility owners. Okay? You have to learn how to run deal analysis. Once you learn how to run deal analysis, all the information that you need in order to run the deal analysis is the questions that you're going to be asking the owner. Okay? So once you learn how to run commercial deal analysis, those are the things that you need to know from the owner so you can run the numbers. Do you think a mini mall is a good passive income? I have no idea about mini malls. I didn't even know there was a mini mall. What is a mini mall? I don't know. Edgar, I'm sorry. I have no idea about mini malls. Okay. All right. Take care, everybody. And we will see you guys at the next session. All right. I'll see you soon. No, do most storage facilities have extra land? Some do, some don't. The one that we're picking up in Florida that we got under contract, that one's got a lot of land. We're looking at one in like in the southern Georgia area. That one's got some land, but then we're looking at another one in Florida that's like literally just 2 long buildings. That's it. It's like 25 units on each building, and that's it. It's just that section. So it's just whatever, honestly. It's whatever. The malls that have Starbucks, etc. Oh, I have no idea about that. That's just like not my cup of tea. All right. So I would definitely look into like somebody else that might be able to. I don't know anything. And maybe somebody has a suggestion of where to learn how to do that. But I focus on storage is what I focus on. Remember what I said? My coach said just do one thing and do it over and over again. That's what I do. I do storage. We buy facilities that are $1 million or less. That's our that's our one thing. All right. Take care, guys. I'll see you soon. Bye.